Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So Mbaku's deep dive, well, it was out yesterday, but in my defense, I've had a fairly bad time since then. But let's talk about him nonetheless. Immediately after both Blue Marvel and Mbaku, I'm kind of gravitating more towards Mbaku based on the abilities revealed. But at the same time, I am not also kind of like super sold on him, but I do think he has a better chance of being useful and kind of like standard Mesa champion, even though his prestige isn't as high. So he does have a great amount of access to true accuracy, which is very, very good. So you deal with auto block and you deal with the weight with that. And then you do inflict bleeds, which is not necessarily the best thing, but the good thing is that you do deal these bursts of damage as well, and he seems fairly straightforward to play. One of my recent comments on my Blue Marvel video effectively called the Blue Marvel worst version of Photon and Mbaku worst version of Okoye, which kind of stuck into my head just now because now that I have heard it, I kind of think it's true, to be honest, at the very least for me personally. Because obviously like Blue Marvel is probably gonna be better for long form fights. But here we are. Anyways, Mbaku looks kind of sick though. Prestige wise, still not too bad. He's around the Dracula. He actually has exactly the same prestige as Dracula does. So that's not bad. So that's top 30 still. Obviously, Blue Marvel is going to be new number 4 in prestige, so that's going to be better. Other than that, survivability 3.5, damage 3.5, ease of use 3, utility 3, defender strength. So both of the champions are offensively themed. And I guess that's like the most important thing here is like how good is his damage going to be, because a lot of his mechanics are seemingly kind of like a mix of Lizard in the way he forms damage and a few other champions. And let's face it, Lizard hasn't exactly thrived in the contest yet. Maybe he will eventually, but Lizard hasn't been the most used rank up for me personally, I would say. Even though I do like the champion, hasn't been the best. So, through accuracy, fury, unstoppable, combo shield, purify, bleed. Attacker summary. Idling for a short period after a heavy attack grants his personal fury. While a fury is active, dashing or punishing specials with dash attacks grants unstoppable. While unstoppable, hits ramp up combo meter faster, ramp up combo meter to unlock additional quality of life abilities. While unstoppable, all damage dealt to the opponent is stored. Special 2 hits deals a burst of damage based on the amount of damage that you had stored. Defender summary, there's nothing too much to it. So, chance after finishing heavy attack to gain his personal fury. Dashing while fury is active grants him unstoppable. While unstoppable, all damage dealt is stored. Special 1 purifies non-damaging debuffs and ramps up combo meter faster. Special 2 hits deal a burst of additional damage. Special 3 purifies all debuffs, granting scaling fury, cleanse passives, and so on and so forth. So let's get to it. Has 100% resistance to cold snap, along with immunity to frostbite effects. That's kind of nice. Why not? At least kind of, is accurate with him as well lore-wise, because, Jabari lived in the snowy environment then in the mountains. After finishing a heavy attack, Mbaku stands still for 0.75 seconds, releasing Mighty Roar that grants him an unstacking 1200 Fury passive for 22 seconds. Pause during the opponent's special attacks. As defender, he has 60% chance to randomly gain it after a heavy attack. While personal fury is active, Mbaku's attacks have 35% chance to inflict bleed debuff for 10 seconds. So him being somewhat bleed reliant, I don't think is the best thing, because there's so many things that are immune to bleed or don't want you to bleed them. So I don't know. Definitely not kind of like the coolest dot that we have in the game right now, but also, I don't think this will be kind of like end-all be-all of his damage, because his damage storm mechanic and then the bursts would still be, relevant and active. Overwhelming Stampede. While Personal Fury is active, dashing towards from the outside, striking distance, grants an unstoppable passive for 2 seconds, paused for the duration of the dash. This unstoppable is removed and can't be activated during opponent's special attacks. After the final hit or a special, it can be triggered by dashing forward or by performing a medium attack within striking distance. While unstoppable, M'Baku gains combo shield passive. While unstoppable, all his hits grant +1 combo meter. Striking the opponent with basic attacks pauses this unstoppable for 0.2 seconds. So you can have quite high uptime with that, and there will be more things that kind of help you keep up his abilities. Then you have Thekiryu's Blessing combo meter abilities. M'Baku unlocks additional abilities as his combo meter increases. Every 10 hits, you gain true accuracy passive for 5 seconds. Pause during the opponent's special attacks. While at 20 or more combo meter, M'Baku's unstoppable is paused during his special 1 and strikers. And while at 40 or more combo meter, all hits while M'Baku's unstoppable is active, gain up to extra critical rating, scaling with M'Baku's combo meter, maxing out at 75 combo, so you get some critical damage. Special 1, Fury of the Jabari. On activation, refresh all personal Furies, so you basically just have to effectively gain that his Fury once and you can refresh it. The first and final hit each purify 2 non-damaging debuffs on M'Baku, granting +2 combo meter. I actually really don't like purification abilities that are kind of outside of core damage loop. That just means you can't really use them when you really have to. So when it comes to it's kind of like Black Cat. Black Cat has cleanse passives on level 1, right? But it's like one of the last things anybody uses Black Cat for or remembers about Black Cat, because all of her damage on her level 2 and you basically never ever want to level 1. So when it comes to adding some sort of purification mechanics, like I really dislike when they're added to outside of generic rotation pieces. But with M'Baku, I think you do need to activate that level 1 a couple of times in the fight anyways in order to, increase your combo meter, refresh the passive furies, and, build up more stored damage. So this might work better than, let's say, Black Cat's cleanse on the level 1. Special 2, but still, I'm still not a fan of, cleanses and purification on specials. Special attack 2, Hammer's Blow. Each hit deals a burst of direct damage equal to 15% of all the damage the opponent has taken prior to this attack, while M'Baku's personal unstoppable is active. Up to 36,346 damage per hit. That's for a max 6-star, by the way. Scaling with his starting attack. Damage counting resets after the final hit. On the final hit, consume 100 combo meter to gain M'Baku's Mighty Roar Fury, which again kind of works quite well with his kit, because when you're building up to level 2, you will not have had a chance to refresh that Fury. So it looked like, from the gameplay example, that it's fairly well tied together. Special attack 3, purify all debuffs and gain an unstacking 500 Fury passive for 60 seconds with a 10% flat potency per debuff purified, max potency increase 40%. Gain 5 combo meter and indefinite cleanse passive for each debuff purified this way, max cleanse 5. And then we have the signature ability, the Fearless one. While unstoppable, M'Baku gains 35% combat adrenaline. That's kind of nice, sure. When the opponent's evade or auto block fails due to accuracy, M'Baku deals a burst of 5,000 direct damage, cooldown 5 seconds. I think this is incredibly weak, to be honest. It's only like 5k burst, and yeah, I don't like this. I think it's borderline pointless. Reaching 50 combo meter for the first time in each fight indefinitely increases the duration of M'Baku's personal furies by 25%. That's kind of nice. And that's the main gist of it. So, deep wounds, resonate, offensive stat focus, critical rating, defensive stat focus, armor rating, recommended Balgas, Relic, Valkyrie. Sure. Okay. He does look, to me, as the more appealing of the two. I do think he will live and die by his damage output. Ability-wise, he's kind of okay. Like, as a skill champion, again, I don't think Science Champion has like the most currently relevant whole bunch of defenders, but for instance, he wouldn't be particularly great against Photon to be one of the target matchups. I'm not saying he couldn't do it. I'm sure he can do that fight. But again, Photon's bleed immune, so he'd ramp up slower. And yeah, I'm not sure how well that matchup would go. Obviously, Spider-Woman, MODOK, he would work great against. High Evolutionary, he should be quite nice against as well. Thing, again, the bleed immunity, I'm sure he would actually function reasonably good against Thing. Need to add Rhino and Rhino here for sure as well. which I don't know how well he would do against. And then across the board, I don't know. I'm really not super sold on either of the new champions. M'Baku did look better of the two. But again, because in my head, champions always exist in competition with each other, right? And no, just about whichever. There is one thing that M'Baku does, for instance, that Okoye doesn't do. That's auto block thing, right? Other than that, as an aid counter, I think Okoye is way better because you do not need to be actively able to strike the opponent to get that aid counter up. Okoye takes that. M'Baku is kind of like more reliant on bleeds, but Okoye has like the alternative of shock. Has bleeds or shock. And overall, still looks good. Definitely looks better than some other recent additions. Whatever happened to J. Jonah Jameson? I barely remember that he's one of the recent champions. But it doesn't seem like super impressive. It seems like a solid champion. Not a game changer, in my opinion. But a useful one. So I'm still interested in him. So I'm definitely interested to acquire, unfortunately, both of the champions this month because M'Baku, I think, could be a neat addition to my account. Nobody that I'm particularly desperate for. Blue Marvel obviously is going to be number 4 in Prestige, so that's going to be basically a mandatory rank up. But with that, we do know all of the champs in the next Titan Crystal. It's not looking that stellar, to be honest. But yeah, out of the both, I must say M'Baku's animations though looks sick though. I like the way M'Baku looks a lot in fight. Let's take a look at his fight again. 1 second. So again, going through his rotation. So we do go for the heavy attack. You stand still. You get the Fury. Now you dash in at the opponent. You gain your Unstoppable. And you can easily reapply that Unstoppable. You get true accuracy, which means you ignore auto block. You have your Unstoppable. Bait out the level 1. Go in for another one. And that level 1 in order to refresh the Fury. And all that other good stuff. Dash back in. Now, you see there is a convenient time skip. But either way, and those bursts. So I hope he works out well enough. I really do. Because I do like him. I really do. And the evade counter seems to be quite easy enough to upkeep for the most part. And yeah. Like, I look at him as kind of like, yeah, solid addition. I don't think he's going to reach the top of the class standings, though. But solid. Not bad. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about